Perfect. Perfect. Perfect.
Hello everyone, today we are on chapter 1, lesson 1.1. We are talking about today the absolute value. What exactly is absolute value? Well, I'm going to tell you right now. The absolute value is the distance between a number and 0. So for example, if I draw a quick number line and I say, here's 0, and then here is the number 10. How far, okay, is 0 from 10, or is 10 from 0? Well, you're going to say it's 10 spots. The way you know is you're just going to count, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So absolute value is distance. Now, one thing we need to know about distance is always positive. And the same thing goes with absolute value. Absolute value is always positive because distance cannot be negative, right? For example, let's say you walk from your house all the way to school. You have to walk 10 blocks. And then you get to school and you're like, oh man, I forgot my backpack. Well, then you have to walk all the way back to your house, grab your backpack, and then walk back to school. You didn't go back negative blocks, right? You didn't go back negative blocks. You just walked another 10 blocks. So basically, absolute value is distance. So if you go from one place to another and then back home, you traveled a little bit longer. So the absolute value of a number can be written like this, right? Where a is a variable, it can stand for anything, but it is written with these two lines right here. So for example, if I said, find the absolute value of 3. Well, what is the absolute value of 3? That would be 3, because how far is 3 away from 0? Well, it's 3 spots, right? 1, 2, 3. So the absolute value, the way you would read this is, right, the absolute value, that means those two things right there, those two lines. The absolute value of 3 is, remember, equal sign means is 3. So let's take a look at this question. And it says like this, well, what is the absolute value of that negative 4? Well, let's see how far away is it from 0. Well, here's 0. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, the absolute value of negative 4 is 4. Well, let's try this one. What is the absolute value of that 4? Well, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. So the absolute value of a positive 4 is 4. Notice that both of these answers are positive because absolute value is always what? It is positive. Okay? Let's try another example. It says find the absolute value of negative 3. All right, so we plot our negative 3 on the number line. So it says find the absolute value, find the absolute value of negative 3. Tell me what it is. Remember, is means equals. So how far is negative 3 away from 0? Well, let's just count on the number line. 1, 2, 3. So the absolute value of negative 3 is 3. Let's try another one. Find the absolute value of a positive 1 and 1/4. Okay, well, let's see how we just have to count from 0. We count 1/2 and another half. 1/2 plus 1/2 will give us what? 1 whole, right? We're just doing some review. And then we go another quarter, and that's going to give us 1 and 1/4. So the absolute value, that's the way you read it. So the absolute value of 1 and 1/4 is 1 and 1/4. Remember, absolute value is always, always positive. That is example 1. In example 2, we are going to compare two numbers. Remember, when we compare things, we're going to use, we're going to use less than, greater than, and equal. Let's just do a quick review. Do you guys remember how I know that's a less than sign? Remember what I said? The less than sign looks like a what? Looks like a what? Crooked L. That's how I know that's less than. That means this is greater than, and then this one is equal. All right, so we're going to be comparing two things. Well, first thing I already noticed is I have a whole number and then I have a fraction. That means we need to put these to have, to look the same. So first of all, let's start off with the negative number. All right, so the absolute value. So it says find the absolute value of negative 2.5. Well, remember we said absolute value is always positive, the distance from 0. So let's just draw myself a little line. We have 1, 2, so I'm going to say 1, 2, 3. I'm going to say this is 2 and 2.5 or 2.5. Well, let's see, how far is 2.5 away from 0? Here's 0, 1, 2.5. So the absolute value of negative 2.5 is 2.5. Okay, now let's find the absolute value of this 3 over 2. Well, we have 3 over 2. Well, let's turn this into a whole number or into a mixed number. Let's see, how many times does 2 go into 3? It goes into there one whole time. All right, and what's left over? Remember, our denominator stays the same. And what's left over once we take away 2? We have 1 left over. So that's 1 and 1/2. Another way to write 1 and 1/2 is actually 1.5. All right, so now we have 1.5. Well, now tell me, which one is bigger? Is 2.5 bigger or is the 1.5 bigger? Well, we know 2.5 is bigger, so 2.5 is greater than 1.5. This is what it would look like on a number line, and that is our answer. The absolute value of negative 2.5, remember absolute value is always positive, so 2.5 is greater than 3 over 2. Remember, 3 over 2 can also be written as 1 and 1/2 or 1.5. All right, that is example number 2.
Perfect.